there, I'm Amy.Connell. Welcome to Graced Health, the podcast for women who want simple and grace-filled ways to take care of themselves and enjoy a little chocolate in the process. I'm a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who wants you to know your eating, movement, and body don't have to be perfect. You just need to be able to do what you're called to do. Welcome to another episode of Ask the Trainer, where I answer questions you may have about your eating, movement, or how they work together in about 7 minutes. Today's question comes from personal experience, as many of the questions that I have do. And that is, my back is tight. How can I stretch it? Now, I am pretty sure I am not alone in this. And I know that I'm not, because I've had a lot of people say my back feels so tight and I just need to stretch it out. And I think oftentimes the first thing that we do is we stand up and then we just kind of drop our chest down to the ground and we try and stretch that back out. Or at least that's one thing that I kind of do, which is a natural thing to do, right? Like we're feeling it, that it is, it's a little tight. And so that will expand it and let's stretch that out. And that may help. If it does, go for it. But there might be some underlying issues, and I don't want to say issues, but there might be some additional things that you can do to help your back, because it may not be that it just needs to be stretched in that same plane of motion. If you've been with me, you've heard me talk about moving in a lot of different ways. Multiplanar is what the technical term is. And when we just fold over, then we're kind of staying in that same plane of motion. So let's talk about a few things that you can do with a tight back. Number one is actually just what I just said. Move in some different directions. One of my favorite ways to stretch my back is to get on my hands and knees. And then I will take my hand, my right hand, I place it above my left hand, and then I take my right hip away from my right hand. So I'm actually creating almost like a diagonal line. That's going to stretch more of my right side. And then obviously do that on the other side as well. Then the second thing I recommend is what I would call a kneeling thoracic spine stretch, which sounds more difficult than it is. So again, in that hands and knees position, take your right hand up above your ear and then open up your chest. I wish you could see me. I'm doing this with you. Open up your chest so your left side is going up toward the ceiling, up to the sky as much as possible. And then take your right elbow underneath your left armpit and reaching down. So again, that is a multiplanar transverse movement where we're going from one side to the other and moving in different directions. Another thing to try is a hamstring stretch. Oftentimes our hamstrings are really tight, and because of the kinetic chain, because everything is connected, it's our tight hamstrings that are pulling, and actually you're feeling that in your back. So we've talked about that with foam rolling a couple weeks ago. You're going to hear it again later this week when we're talking. Well, I'll just let you, not this week. You'll hear it later this month. So I'll let you listen to that. But remember that the point of pain may not be the point of the issue. And so you have to kind of do a little bit of investigative work. You can't, for a hamstring stretch, you can prop your leg up and very slowly go down. If you are not getting ready to work out, then you can hold that stretch a little bit longer. Typically, it is about 30 seconds. You've heard me say this before. And after 30 seconds, that releases what's called the Golgi tendon organ, which protects your muscles from lengthening too much and creating injury. So after 30 seconds, it's basically like, okay, we're in a safe environment. Now we can relax and stretch a little bit more. So you can do that with like one leg propped up. You can do that from a seated position with an extended leg. Down dog, I really like doing that. You really press your heels down to the ground and at the same time lift your tailbone up to the sky. So you're kind of lengthening the backside of your legs as much as possible. Any way that you want to do that hamstring stretch. And again, unless you are getting ready to work out, you can hold that for about 30 seconds. Another thing to remember is sometimes our back is hurting because it is weak and because our core is weak, and even on the front side. So engage your core. We've talked a lot about that, but it's, lacing your rib cage together, pulling your belly button back. And you don't have to go full throttle, engaging your core all the time. Just kind of hold it in at about 70%. And that will help support your back. Another suggestion that was given to me by Candace Harris, who you met at the end of season 1, is roll the arches of your feet on a lacrosse ball. So again, that kinetic chain, it's all connected. That can really help lengthen up or that can help loosen up your lower back. Now, I will tell you, a few weeks ago, I'm not even sure what I did, but my back was killing me. And I was like, okay, what's the deal? What's going on? I reached out to someone who I knew because I was walking a whole lot, and kind of got some, thoughts from her. And I ended up just doing my mobility, which, one of these things that I pull up. And I tell you what, after that mobility, I have not had a lick of problems. And we really do. Every single thing that I talk about here or today, with the exception of the lacrosse ball, we do in that mobility class. So right now, I will tell you, you can do one of my mobility classes for free. Go over to the Graced Health page on Facebook, click on videos, and you will see some playlists. One of those playlists is mobility. I do a lot of the similar things in several of those classes. And these were all things that I did right at the beginning of COVID. So I had like 10 weeks of classes 3 times a week. That was just my way of helping people out and at the very beginning. And go do one of those. It's free. It's all good. And I promise you will feel great when you're done. Okay, that is all for today. Go out there and have a graced day.